we are. We're back at the machine, and we're going to be doing video 2 on our embroidery unit. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to set your embroidery unit up to begin stitching. So you're going to go into settings. And in settings, you have all these different icons. I want you to go into the embroidery icon. I want you to go ahead and look at this one. It's at 4 millimeter, and that's a good place to be for that setup. And let's go.
What is that setup?
It's just, I know it's supposed to be 4 millimeter. So it's a thread cutting length, I think. No, is it?
I think so.
Okay. All right, so then we go back here. We're gonna.
God, we're frack here.
Then we're gonna go into here. This is the stitch. Yes, this is the jump threads, and you want to set this down to 1 millimeter, just like that, because that tells you between jump stitches that it's only going to be a 1 millimeter. The tail will only be 1 millimeter during till that they would leave. So it's really minute. And then this is to cut your thread in between, and I turn that on. And then
okay, so that's the notification that stops when you first start
Right.
stitching and tells you to cut your start thread.
Right. So if you don't want that, you can turn that off. If you remember, there's nothing that can ruin a embroidery design is to have all of those threads, just kind of little bitty ones hanging on the top of it. So I like to cut it right then and there. Then we're going to, so all of that is green, and then 1 millimeter.
And the top one is your jump thread cutting, turning it on
Yep.
or off.
So there we go. We'll go in here.
Hey, Laurie, do all designs have jump thread cutting built into them?
No, all designs do not. And so you might have it turned on in this machine, but if they haven't digitized that into it, it's not going to happen.
Aha.
So the next one that we're going to go to is thread away. And we're going to turn that on.
What is that?
And the thread away comes in and just sweeps your thread out of the way and brings, and it's really cool too, yeah. So we're going to close that, and then we're going to go down here. And most of us do not like to read millimeters. We don't know it, so I'm going to switch it to inches. That is all you need to do. All of these settings will be saved. They won't change back when you turn off your machine. You've gone into the system and set it up how you want it. So now we can close out of there. Okay. Now, in order to get into the embroidery, first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to change your foot. And you remember that little white box I showed you? You're going to get that 26 foot out. You're going to put that on. It goes on just like any other foot. And there you have it. You have your machine set up for the 0 millimeter plate in. And now we have to go in here and we have to change and highlight the 26 foot. Right here. And you just touch it and highlight it. And in on the 770s, it doesn't change here. But you're going to see something in the embroidery end of the when we go into embroidery, because it's going to ask you to do this.
The 880 and the 790, you can switch it right now, and it'll stay. The 770
But
won't.
the 770 won't.
Or the 570.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got our needle in, our embroidery needle. We have our embroidery foot. We can go ahead. We've got the color. What is, something's hanging up here. There we we go. Okay. We've got,
What is that thing?
this is a thread holder, holds multiple threads, and it's really nice when you are doing embroidery because you're always changing thread color. And so you have it right there at your fingertips to put the colors in order. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here, thread my needle, and cut my thread. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my embroidery unit. Now, in order to put the embroidery unit, you have 2 tabs on the front, right in the front here. And then down here is the connector that connects the embroidery brain to the sewing machine. So the very first things that you're going to do, you're going to lift up your embroidery unit a little bit, and you kind of tilt it to the left. Put the left one in and then slide in the right one and just push it in, okay? And you'll hear it. You'll hear it connecting. So now I need to, so that's on, the foot is on, the needle is in. I need to go in and I need to choose that I want to be in embroidery. So I'm going to go to my home button and I'm going to touch embroidery. Now it's telling me to drop my feed dog. The feed dog is on the right-hand side next to where your foot pedal plugs in. You're going to push that all the way in, and now this screen will come up. Okay? So the next thing that you're going to do is that you would pick out a design. We can pick out this one. It's a fairly little design. Now here's where it's telling you, you've got the 0 millimeter plate in. You have your feed dogs down because it's turned yellow. Now it's asking you, it has a exclamation mark, and it's saying, wait a minute, you haven't highlighted that foot. So I've got to touch here, and then I'm going to highlight it. Now it highlights it, and now it changes. In the 790 and 880, it automatically changes. I also think it changes in the 570 and 590. It's only the 770 that does not change on the sewing end. So we've got that done.
Those crazy Swiss.
They're crazy. And then we're going to close out of there. Now we've chosen our design. The next thing that you're going to do is you would set this up, and that is going to be another video, is it not? So right now, this is what you can get to and do this up to this point. And then tomorrow, I think we're going to come back, and I'm going to show you how to hoop and how to go into some of your information and how to make some changes when you want to. So thank you, and we hope you join us again for our 3rd lesson tomorrow.